My name is Paul Harris. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Firefly. I've been at Firefly now for 20 years and I'm helping with the production on Stronghold Definitive Edition.
I am Dave Robertson, producer at Firefly Studios. I've been at Firefly for 18 years. I produce everyone's work that needs to be done in order to bring the game from the old project up to the new project.
Stronghold Definitive Edition is a remaster of the original classic Stronghold from 2001. It features a new campaign, it features new gameplay modes, much easier to access multiplayer, and loads of extra usability features.
We thought, since people all wanted us to go back to making 2D games, why not go back and upgrade the original, bring in new features, update the graphics, since new computers can handle them, and yeah, give the fans what they want, a chance to relive that original game. My first reaction when we decided that we were going to do Stronghold Definitive Edition was, yeah, I'm surprised we haven't already done this.
I think it's something that, we'd always talked about over the years, but coming up to the 20th anniversary, it felt like now was the right time. Loads of people play Stronghold HD even now, so it makes sense to create a remaster version.
Neil, the artist who found the original source art and said, look, here's what I could do in a relatively short period of time. We could remaster this game to bring it up to standard, to modern standards. He was wrong. It wasn't a quick process like he thought it was, and I'm sure he's kicking himself for it now, but glad that we've gone through with it, to be honest.
When the original Stronghold came out, it was still relatively early in the days of the internet, and certainly the public internet. The options available to play multiplayer where you had to either connect someone's IP address, you had to connect someone's IPX address, which probably no one even knows what that is these days, or you could play on the LAN essentially, which is fine for the time because to play a multiplayer game, people had to go through a lot of hoops, and it's almost like they expected to have to do that. It was quite a hardcore thing to do. So yeah, the kind of people that played multiplayer were the kind of people that could work that stuff out. But as the years went on and basically everything became more accessible, people getting onto the internet, they didn't have to really have to think about how to do it, they just did it. And it became a lot easier. Connectivity options in Stronghold are still 20 years old, so it's still that early internet days. So it's actually quite hard to have an internet multiplayer game with the original Stronghold.
For years, there's still been an active multiplayer community for Stronghold 1 on Game Ranger, but it was a third party, it didn't always work. You needed to rely on everyone installing it, and it was just a nightmare for all the users. We figured, since we've done multiplayer games on Steam with all our other titles, it was the default option. See if we can get it working with Steam multiplayer. If we could get it working in Steam multiplayer so that people had a simple way to connect to randoms or their friends, then it made perfect sense because it would reopen Stronghold 1 to everyone, which is probably still one of the fans' favorite multiplayer experiences, other than obviously Stronghold Crusader.
So implementing Steam multiplayer was actually pretty easy. Steam are a great partner for us. They provide a lot of multiplayer tools to make that really easy. The main thing was that the original game used GameSpy, which I don't think has been around for at least 10 or 15 years now. So a lot of the work was actually just recreating how to get people into games, because Steam will use the lobby system, so you can join a lobby, and the whole multiplayer setup screen had to be reworked so that it worked with Steam multiplayer.
Luckily, we had a lot of expertise in that because we'd done Steam workshops and Steam multiplayer with all subsequent Stronghold titles. So it wasn't the quickest process, but it was one of the earliest things that we got in there.
It's a nice seamless process that I think new players will understand and old players will obviously be very familiar with. One of the great things about the original Stronghold game was just how much community content was created for it.
Anyone could make a map with the original map editor and then share it with any other Stronghold player. And there was a few centralized hubs where people uploaded maps. I think on Stronghold Heaven Games there was, I'm not going to say the exact number because it will be wrong, but it was thousands if not tens of thousands of maps. All of those things extended the replayability of Stronghold by a fair margin, because there was multiplayer maps, there was custom scenarios, there was custom economic maps, Freebuild maps. The problem was there was nothing that made that seamless. You had to go download the map file, place it in the correct folder.
It'd be so much better if all of that content was presented to the players, ideally within the game, and luckily Steam Workshop was invented directly for that.
It'll now be easier than ever for people to share maps on the Steam Workshop, because not only will you just be able to make the map, and we've combined the scenario editor and the map editor so you don't have to jump between the two. There's also just an upload to Steam Workshop button right there in the editor where you can tag it, share it without even leaving the game, and it's there for people to subscribe and download.
This is too easy.
And the great thing we've done is that all maps created in either the original Stronghold or Stronghold HD will work with Stronghold DE. So we are hoping to see all of those thousands of maps that were on Heaven Games or other locations just go straight onto the workshop for everyone to enjoy.
One of the features I've been championing a lot in Stronghold Definitive Edition is actually Freebuild. I think Freebuild is one of the sort of most undervalued modes in the game.
I've always loved Freebuild in all of the Stronghold titles. There's something just relaxing about building a castle and an economy and then watching it expand, and you make it as big as you can. It's like, that's the exact one I want.
You can play from the start, but essentially you've got to go through all the, getting wood, getting stone. It can be quite slow. I've been trying to get into the game things like starting options so that you can choose what level of goods you've got when you start. The Freebuild invasion panel is so much more integrated with the game now, so you can trigger invasions, you can trigger events.
You can start fires in your castle and just watch everyone burn if you're a sadist.
I think Freebuild should be a sandbox in every style, in that you should be able to play it how you want, not just using the basic game systems.
The thing I'm most excited about is seeing the love for a 20-year-old game, again, from not just the old fans who have still been, throughout all these years, have maintained their love for the original Stronghold, but also new fans as well. I'm just excited for everyone, new and old alike, to experience the campaign again, because some of you might have forgotten it. Some of you have never experienced it.
Stronghold Definitive Edition is out on November the 7th, and you can wishlist it now on Steam.